Hi, I'm going to try to do a quick tutorial on the ClockShark software. I'm going to try to do it in one take, so I'm sure I'll make some mistakes. But I'm going to try to keep it brief, but there's a lot of content, and I want to make sure that it's explained well. In general, the administrative side, processing the payroll takes us a long time, and we want to automate it because it's really just taking too long. And I know there's a lot of follow-up questions. We're having to read handwriting. There's just a lot of concerns there. So for us, it's really, this is the next step that we have to take to make this work. And of course, I think nobody really likes doing the paper timesheets anyway, so hopefully this will improve everything. And it also has some really neat features that I think will help employees in terms of tracking for your mileage reimbursement for your per diem, and also, tracking the addresses for the jobs and even getting directions of how to get to the job. So I think it's going to be better for everybody overall. I do expect there's going to be some questions, of course, so I will leave my contact information below the video in the description so you can contact me. But if you have any questions, please do ask them, and then I may, if I get a lot of the same questions or something like that, I may do a follow-up video in case I don't cover everything. So I will try to be quick. I know I talk fast in general, so this will probably, I'll try to make it fast, but just, let me know if I don't cover something. Basically, there are two major categories on the app. Everybody should have it downloaded. If you do not have it, it should be, you should get it in your email. You'll have your login instructions. So once you download it, it will have the jobs and tasks that you can choose every time that you do a job. So, of course, you all probably already know what that looks like, but I will show you anyway. So you have your app, and then you open it, and then, like I said, we have your jobs and your tasks up here. And administrative is there because everybody's required to do this, including administrative people. Below that, you have your notes and attachments. We'll get to that later. For the jobs and tasks, if you are working on a GC job, so something that we're going to invoice for, and it's not a school because we don't have all the schools set up yet, and it is not administrative, you will need to be within the GPS area of that job, to clock in and to make it easy for us. If you leave that area, the system will not automatically, kick you off necessarily, but it will warn you, hey, you're leaving, do you need to clock out, what's going on? So if you are working there for now, you would choose your job, and let's just go through one, for example. So let's say I want to switch from administrative. Let's say I want to choose the 434 Starbucks in Raymond. So there's a lot of jobs here. You might have a hard time finding it. There is a search feature up here. So if I click on that and start typing Starbucks, I'm going to get a lot of results. But if I put in Ray for Raymond, it'll show me the Raymond job. So if I choose that, there it is. And now it's going to ask me for my task. So tasks, we have a bunch of them. I do think we're probably going to cut down on this a little bit because there's a lot of them, and I know a lot of times you're doing multiples of these kind of simultaneously or even very close together. So I don't, our goal is not to have you here every 15 minutes having to change your task, because we want to make this easier for everybody, not harder. So just choose whatever is most appropriate, maybe something that'll get you through a few hours at least, if not your whole shift. And we may revise this, maybe cut down on them, I don't know. Now, for all these tasks, you will need to be in the area of your job to, have it not give me and the rest of the admin people a warning. The only ones that are an exception are travel and supply run. So here's supply run up here, if you can see it, and here's travel. So for supply run, you would stay in the job that you selected. So let's say 434 in Raymond Starbucks. And you would just do your supply run. Now, it's not going to warn me that you're leaving the job site. And it's not going to warn you either because, or it shouldn't, or you could just ignore the warning, because you're still, working for the job, and you chose a task that does not require you to be there. Of course, supply run, you can't stay at the job site. With others, you do. It doesn't make sense that you're doing demolition off site. That wouldn't make sense. So, another one is supply run. Another one is travel. Travel is if you're going between jobs. So let's say you started at Chipotle and you're going to a Starbucks. Well, the only reason you're traveling is because you have to get to Starbucks, right? The second job. So choose the second job and choose travel. If you are using a personal vehicle, we do want to pay you for the reimbursement. So once you choose travel, which again is here, the big one that says to, use the description, you can click down here in this kind of section, or the paper clip, to add notes and attachments. And here it is. So once again, to show you that, if you click on the text notes and attachments here, it won't do anything. If you click on the paper clip or this gray area here, it will. So you can use this to leave pictures of your odometer from and to, of course, because we need the two to do the math and find out what you actually drove, or you can put in the notes where you went. In either case, please use the notes to let us know where you went. So for example, if you're going to CES, just putting something like CES Altamont is perfect. But if you want the if you want to be paid for the per diem, please put for per diem in the notes. And the reason is some of you, have a company vehicle. Some of you may carpool with somebody else. We're not automatically going to pay absolutely everybody for every supply run or travel, but for a lot of you we will, because if you're using your personal vehicle and you went to a first job site and now you're going to a second one or to a supply store or whatever, that's within the day and we will pay you for that for the mileage. So please put for per diem in the notes and then we will know to look for it. So if you did not take pictures of the odometer, we'll try to figure out where you went. But it would be super, super helpful if in the notes you could put supply run CES Altamont, something like that. That would be perfect because then I can Google the address for CES Altamont. I can see where you just were because you chose the job site. I can see where you were just working. And I can do the math real quick and pay you for that difference. On that topic, if you are traveling to your first job from your home that is commuting and that is not paid time and that is not per diem. The only exception is if it's over 30 miles from both your home and our home office in Longwood. So the way to think of that is if the job site is right next to your house, but you live 50 miles from us, this doesn't really make sense to pay you travel because it's right next to your house. That's great for you. But if it's right next to our office and you live 50 miles away, it also doesn't make sense to pay you for that because we chose a job that's close to, the central location. So it's not a far away out of town job. So it has to be both, over 30 miles for both. In those situations, go ahead and put down when you get to the job site and in the notes, put I need to be paid for my travel, something along those lines, or put just per diem and put over 30 miles. And what I'll do is I'll go on Google Maps, I'll calculate it, and I'll figure out what the mileage is. I'll take the first 30 miles off, and then the rest of it you'll be paid per diem, and we'll figure out the time from there as well. So when you get to those jobs, and they're very rare now-ish, just kind of let me know if there's any confusion on that because I know it's kind of a unique situation. In either case, we're going to be fair, so we'll figure it out. Just contact us if you have that situation, but because the job does not allow you to clock in, or it will give us a warning if you clock in outside of the range, please don't clock in when you leave your house and then say deduct 30 miles or deduct the time from this. Clock in when you get there and put in the notes, add time and add mileage. That will be much, much better. Again, the reason we're doing this is to make it faster. I could show you, what it looks like. I have it on my other screen, but then, I'd be showing you other people's time right now, which isn't really relevant. But basically, it gives me a big warning, like a triangle with an exclamation mark. Something is wrong. We're going to have to investigate each one of those something is wrongs. So if they add up between all of our employees, which we have quite a few now, it's just going to be worse. And nobody wants to go back to the paper timesheets. So please, do your best to... I know it's going to be a transition period, but just do your best to remember. So every time you leave a job site, you're either going home or you're traveling. You either have to take your timesheet and clock out, or you have to choose travel or supply run. So in either case, whenever you're leaving, you can get in the habit to go on your phone and change your status. Also, to clock in, you will need to enable your location setting, which is the teardrop looking thing up there. So basically, if you choose that, if you enable it, then it will let you clock in. If you don't have that enabled, it will not let you clock in. So that's also an important thing, but you'll see that very fast because it won't let you clock in. So there's that. We already went over how on travel you should take notes or put on the odometer, just put where you're going so we can pay you for that. We already talked about commuting. When you are going on break, on your lunch break, what the system, pretty much prefers is that you put in that you are starting a break. So that's down here, start break. Alternatively, you can clock out. There's no problem with clocking out for lunch. You can do either one. But if you do start break, it does deduct it from your total time. So, that's fine. You can use either one. Once you're done with your day, once you clock out, the system no longer tracks your location in any way. We have no access to it. But if you want to go a step further, because I know privacy is important to everybody, myself included, you can go ahead and just disable your location thing up here. Okay, so if you disable that, then no app really has even the ability to see where you are. Plus, you're clocked out, so we can't see where you are. And if you would, like I said, if there's anything relevant, use the description. And more communication is better. And the other thing I would say to really stress, notes are the first thing, because if there's anything we need to know, anything weird, please put it in the notes. It'll make it so much faster and easier for us. Another thing is please do not clock in outside of the range unless you are using supply run or travel. anytime somebody does that, like I said, we're going to have to investigate. So if somebody's driving back and forth, let's say 5 times, that's going to be so many times that we're having to clock in to see what in the world happened, where did this person go, why, you know, is it the right task, were they traveling instead, is it even for that job, you know, we're having to figure out where all the mistakes are, and it's just going to take forever. So 2 important things: notes, and make sure you clock in the location if you're using those tasks. If you are doing jobs at a school. We currently only have OCPS, Orange County Public Schools, as one job set up. We do not have all the schools set up yet. So if you would, just use that one, and you can put in the notes where you are. Again, you know, if you are in this situation, because it doesn't have an area, because we don't have the individual school set up, it's not going to be giving us a warning everywhere. But please do put what school you worked on, because again, we do have to do job costing. So just like you've done with your other timesheets, you put down the school name, do the same thing here. Just here, you're going to have to do it in the notes for now until we set up the schools. And the other really cool thing that I thought, you know, employees would like, I know I would like it, is if you choose your job. So let's say, you know, if I put in RAY for 434 in Raymond, Starbucks, that one only comes up. If I put in Starbucks in the search up here under the jobs, then a lot of Starbucks will come up. So let's say I choose this one. Now let's say I'm doing low voltage work, I don't know. If you click on the I next to it here, it will give you the Google Maps, and it will give you the instructions here. So you can get there, which I think is very neat. So at the end of the week, basically what I can do is pull up your timesheets and have a report and see, you know, what's going on. But if you would, please, if your job is not there and you choose other job, it says, please notify Vedran immediately, please do that. If you find that the tasks, you know, maybe aren't working, maybe you want to get them revised, maybe you see that something's not there and you need it there, please contact me. I will add it. If you need a login and you don't have one set up or something like that, please contact me. And if you have any questions, please do communicate them. I will probably make a follow-up video if I did not, you know, go over something adequately. So ask me your questions, and hopefully everything works out pretty easily. By now, everybody pretty much has this set up, I would think. So just, you know, make sure you're using it. Make sure you clock out, and make sure that you are in the range if you're actually working on a billable job. It just really, really will help us. And if we don't follow the steps, and if you don't contact me when there is a new job and maybe I didn't set it up, it's just going to make the admin side so much worse. And like I said, I think we're all going to probably appreciate this more than paper timesheets. So please do your best, and I'm sure it'll work out. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you, and I try to keep it short, but it's still pretty long. That's okay. Thank you.